Oh my goodness. Hello, hello. I just had a computer crash. So I am 8 minutes late. I don't even know if this is working or not. This is crazy. Welcome to SPTV Never Ends. I'm Kelly. I don't know what is wrong with this computer. Oh my goodness. I don't know if anybody's going to show up tonight or not. I'm sure someone will be here in a minute. I am so upset about my computer. I don't know what happened to it, but I couldn't get it to go on. There's a light on it that's not usually on where the camera is. So I don't even know if this is live streaming or not. I have no clue. And I sound like an idiot talking to myself. So great. These aren't even staying on the card. It's I don't know if this is working or not. There's no one in the live chat. I don't know what is wrong with my computer. Oh, hi, Tiggs. Oh my goodness. I was scheduled to come on 10 minutes ago, and then my computer just went black. It was so weird. You're going to listen while you paint. That's fine. Um, I was just going to read this article I found. So many people have been talking about the children in Scientology, you know. Um, well, Serge has been doing it for a while now, but like Nora's jumping on the bandwagon. And so, what? um, anyway, I typed in because there's no orgs where I live, and so um, I decided to type in because I live in Jacksonville, Florida, which is about I'd probably say maybe 4 hours from Clearwater. It might be a little bit longer. I'm not sure, but I'm thinking, well, there has to be um, Scientologists in this part of the state, so I wonder where they go for whatever they do. So I typed in Scientology in Jacksonville, and a few things came up, but there's no meeting place that I could find. But this article came out, and it was written. It's called "Scientology is Child Abuse" by Dennis Ehrlich, and I'm not even sure when this was written, but I guess he used to be in Scientology, and I'm going to read it out loud so you can just listen. It says, early in the 60s, I remember seeing a movie that made a profound impression on me. It was one of the shock, shockumentaries, I guess like a shockumentary, that was made after the success of the movie Mondo Cane, I believe. I've never heard of that movie. Mondo Cane, Cane. Perhaps some of you recall it as a documentary about the bizarre practices of various cultures around the world. It was an eye-opener for any middle class youth, especially one as sheltered in suburbia as I was. I was shocked and utterly fascinated by the diversity of cultures in the world, their differing views of life, and what was considered normal in various societies. Children who grow up in cults are cut off from experiencing the wide range of choices the world has to offer. Sequestered and insulated from the rest of the world, their parents' way of life is the only one to which they are exposed. In the movie, there was one segment, however, that was deeply disturbing, whose images haunt me still. It concerned child slavery going on at that time in Africa. In that segment of the movie, slavers were shown stealing infant children from their parents. They then put the children in confining cages where they could not stretch out, or they bound them using shackles to twist their tiny arms and legs into weird, contorted positions. These children were kept this way for their entire childhood, allowed to grow to maturity without ever being unbound. Their bodies became twisted into grotesque human pretzels, with joints bent in wrong directions and calluses on the wrong sides of feet. When grown, these children were sold by the slavers as freaks to the sideshows. I recall thinking that the children seemed totally normal before they were placed in these extreme conditions. That they survived at all is for me a testament to the adaptive power of the human body, mind, and spirit. Just a second, I have to scroll it down. Sorry. My cigarette went out. These images these images helped form my conceptual model for child abuse. Any set of experiences which bind a child's body, mind, or spirit into a warped, contorted posture is abuse. Any activity which causes the child to have to adapt to extreme unnatural conditions is similarly abusive. This type of prolonged adaptation produces a twisted mental posture which causes the child to be maladaptive in society. Maladaptive in society. Libertarians may reasonably argue that adults should be allowed to participate in or subject themselves to whatever destructive activity they choose. When it comes to children, however, a different standard is universally applied. Children in our society are, by law, protected from many harmful influences or circumstances to which adults can be subjected or can willingly submit. While adults are allowed to go hungry on our streets or expire from need of medical attention, children are generally protected from such neglect. The ability to think that the right to speak critically can be lost or knowingly forfeited by an adult, and we might say that he is a dedicated, single-minded, devoted, or focused follower. But a child not having had the chance to develop the ability to think for himself is, in theory, protected from any influence that would take that eventual right away. In Scientology, there have been enough verified reports of children being ordered locked in chain lockers on the flagship by Hubbard himself or being subjected to the labor camp reform of the RPF to know that the man hadn't the slightest regard for the welfare of children. Children are housed in squalid conditions, deprived of proper parental supervision, medical care, and generally considered excess baggage by the cult's leaders. The abuse, however, that I would like to address here is what I have personally witnessed, the mental and spiritual abuse perpetuated upon children raised in the cult environment. My 4 children were subjected to the practices of which I speak, and God willing, will someday be free of the destructive influence of Scientology on their lives. In Scientology, people are routinely deprived of their rights of free speech, and thought, held captive, required to submit to degrading conditions, or undergo, air quotes, rehabilitation in the RPF program. They are subjected to shunning, sleep deprivation, and concentration camp environment to accomplish the cult's brainwashing reform. These practices are not the worst of what goes on hidden behind the public facade of the cult. They are also not limited to the control and manipulation of adults. Many of the most repressive and authoritarian practices are applied equally to defenseless children. These practices are based on Hubbard's stated philosophy that children are just thetans in little bodies and should be required to contribute as soon as possible to the group's survival. In a child's life, the application of this philosophy translates to deprivation of parental nurturing, the right to be just children. Instead, children are deemed upstat or downstat, have in ethics or out ethics, are on purpose or off purpose. They are segregated, even more than their Scientology parents, from the normal influences of society. Their concept of themselves in relation to society is molded by Hubbard's own twisted worldview. They learn they are very different from WOG kids. They absorb Hubbard's prejudices against the government, the education system, the mental health community, and literally everyone who is not a member of the cult. They learn the cult's concept of responsibility. If they are critical of Scientology or anyone in it, it is because they themselves have committed an anti-social act. They are instilled with the idea that the only worthwhile ambition they can have is to become a professional Scientologist and help save the planet. In the case of my own daughter, this conditioning translated in her young mind to helping Scientology stop people from slaughtering baby seals and other similarly naive images. Of course, she wanted to help save the planet. What child wouldn't? So at age 8, she became a Sea Org member. I was, of course, very proud of her. She worked 7 days a week till 10:30 p.m. at the Clearwater headquarters. She was a cadet until she was 15. It was with the grace of God that she escaped and started building her life back toward instead of away from society. It took her several years of constant struggle to catch up from the education she received while a cadet in the Sea Org. She is currently receiving counseling to deal with the twisted ideas and unnatural childhood she experienced growing up in the cult. But nonetheless, she graduated from college this year, cum laude, and is beginning a new life in the real world. Another of my children, who once had a wonderful sense of humor, claims she lost her ability to laugh when she did the communication course as a 6-year-old. The bull baiting in the training drills tampered with her spontaneity and caused her to arrest her natural urge to react to things. As a result, she now tends to be placid, self-conscious, detached, and objective. Once that spontaneity was disturbed by the unnatural hypnotic discipline of TRs, she tended to be unreacting. I have known many adults in my cult career who displayed this fixed, robotic, unreacting countenance, but in the case of my child, it produced a severe, dramatic, destructive change in her personality which has not been reversed. Like her sister, she had a difficult time trying to adapt in the WOG schools to the children and the need to catch up academically. After several years of constant effort, she managed to come up to speed with those she had previously considered her inferiors, the WOGs. Another of my children who rebelled against the notion of Scientology indoctrination constantly felt like the outsider in the family. Because she didn't aspire to the same goals as the cult demanded, she was considered out ethics. This stigma caused by her unwillingness to give up her natural tendency to question and be critical created in her the self-image of being inadequate and flawed. She blamed herself for being imperfect. Only now, years later, through counseling, is she realizing that faulting herself constantly for lack of perfection is unhealthy and came from the cult's indoctrination designed to control its members and keep them in line. My youngest child nearly died shortly after birth because of Scientology's distrust and unwillingness to get competent medical care for members. She spent the first several years of her life in a Sea Org nursery. I used to wonder why she would cry hysterically each morning when she was deposited in the facility. It was staffed by children, usually 12 to 16 years old, from the cadet org. The nannies had no sense of hygiene, and the children often suffered from infections, illness, fleas, lice, scabies, or crabs. During all of this, I was forced. During all of this, I was focused on my job in the Sea Org, Chief Quality Control Officer in the brainwashing factory. That until one day, when I was changing my child's diaper, I saw little white worms wiggling their way out of her anus. I didn't realize the abuse going on. Shortly after that, I left the cult, but the image of those worms exiting my infant daughter still haunts me, just as the image of the twisted, forgotten children in the movie Mondo Cane seared into my memory. It will for all time serve as a reminder to me of the neglect and abuse to which I subjected my own flesh and blood in order to, air quotes, clear the planet. Fortunately, my children have all become strong enough on their own to overcome much of the handicap of growing up in the cult. They still bear me a certain amount of unspoken and well-deserved animosity for submitting them to this abusive upbringing and for my parental neglect. Our relationship as our relationships as child and parent may never be fully normal. In spite of this, I am proud to say none of my kids have hesitated to warn other children and adults, stay away from Scientology. I have not mentioned the parental neglect of children I have witnessed in my 15 years in the cult, the conditions in the cadet org where children of Sea Org parents are warehoused without contact from parents for weeks on end, or the work camp conditions of some of the facilities for children, because it is enough for me to admit the abuse to which I expose my own children. I don't know if anyone can comprehend the remorse I feel for subjecting my children to this alienating, warped, repressive environment. I pray our story serves as a warning. Scientology is dangerous to the health and sanity of your children. It just makes me tear up. That's so sad. That was written in 1991 by Dennis Ehrlich. Oh my gosh, can you imagine? Well, that was a long story. I think there were four people here. Now, I'm assuming, Tiggs, you're still here. You don't have to answer. Boy, that is so sad. I mean, the guilt I would feel if I was one of those parents um, and had escaped and realized what I had put my yeah, it is so sad. Realizing what I had put my children through, I oh my gosh, I would just die. It is so sad. But that was written in 91. That was a long time ago. 91, like 20, 23 years ago or something? Or was it more than that? 91, 2001, 2000. Oh, like 30, more than 30 years ago. Wow. So, so sad. So, um, I've been working on my jewelry tonight, and I am gonna, after this, I'm gonna make a video showing my jewelry. Hi, Kimberly. I just read the saddest story. Hi, Marla. Y'all missed it. I just read like a story. It took 15 minutes to read. It's from an ex-Scientologist. It was written in 91 by an ex-Scientologist named Dennis Ehrlich, Erlich. And he was talking about um, kids in Scientology and how abusive it is and how bad he felt for. He has four daughters, and the abuse that they suffered at the hands of Scientology, and how bad he feels. Like uh, it's so sad. It made me tear up. But anyway, so I was just telling Tiggs um, that I've been working on my jewelry. So after this, I'm gonna make that video I was talking about in Cricket's chat, and I'm gonna have prices this time, and I've I have a whole bunch of new bracelets, SPTV stuff, but I'm gonna show some other things too. But I have some squirrel earrings and some ducky earrings. They're all falling off the cards. Oh my goodness. I have to. The squirrels are so cute. I had them on cards, but they've all fallen off. So I don't know what's up. I have to put those little rubber stoppers on the back of these cards. Here's one. Isn't that cute? I think those little squirrels are so cute. And I have the Swarovski crystals on that one. This one is just plain, just the squirrel, because some people don't want the crystals. They just want the squirrel. I think they're so cute. And here's a little ducky. Oops, there's a duck. He's cute too. I don't know how many people will order the ducks, but I saw the ducks a few weeks ago before they had the squirrels there. So I bought the ducks, and I do have I found these in one of my boxes. They're acorns, but they're really heavy. I don't think I could put these on the earrings. And I mean, it'd be cute with the squirrel, but these acorns are about half the size of the squirrel. Anyway, I don't know what I'm gonna do with all that. But I've been making here's a Natasha bead. A Natasha bead is it's not really a bead, but um can you see that? Down the middle, if you look, down the middle there's a line, and each side is a high quality crafts. Um, what was I going to say? Oh, down the middle there's a line, and each side is like this is a mirror image. This side is the same as that side. They're called Natasha beads, but they start out like in kind of a block like this, and you cut it down the middle and open it up, and the sides mirror each other. Here's another one I think is kind of cool. It's hard. The resin on it is the shine is making it glare. Is that one of the archangels? Um, what do you mean, archangels? Oh, they're just no, they're nothing really, but you can see all kinds. You can find all kinds of things. Like it is does kind of look like an angel, huh? But I have some that look like all kinds of things because different people see different things, you know. Yeah, it has resin on it. It's that UV resin like that they have for nails, but they make it for for jewelry. Yeah, uh, and here's a small bottle of it. It's resin, and, and then I have like my big uh, UV light, and I need to send. I need. Here's one that I have. I'm gonna send to Cricket. It's just a little one, but this is the kind that comes. This is a little UV light, um, and it comes in the nail kits. The the resin nail kits. So I have like 3 of these. I'm gonna send her one. I need to get that in the mail. I told her I would send it to her a long time ago. Not a long time ago, last week. The first pin you showed looks like one of the archangels. Yeah, it does kind of look like an angel. I just love the colors. And I mean, you guys would die if you saw how many. I mean, I have trays, like trays of, this is full of, of, of those. I mean, I have so many of these. And I like to like put the smaller ones on a choker. Here's another one that's kind of neat. Isn't that pretty? The colors are so pretty. And you make a lot of these with your leftover, like with your scraps that you don't know what to do with. Um, I mean, I have so many. Here's something kind of interesting. This kind of looks like wood in a way. That's not the same thing. This was just something else I made. But yeah, I have I have one, two, three, four, 5 of these small trays, and then I have 2 drawers full of full of them. This one's not as shiny. I didn't put resin on this one. I just put like a clear. Actually, it's like floor polish. Anyway, I just think they're so neat. I am like hooked on making these because every one of them is different, you know, and I just love them. That one's different colors. That one's kind of neat. But yeah, people find all different things in them. This one kind of looks like it has a face, a girl with sunglasses. Can you like? Oh, I can't really. Anyway, like right there is her head. This is my key. This is actually a keychain for my scooter. It fell off of my key. I need to put it back on. But anyway, so like these little ones, like this size, I put on. I have these, um, like chokers. Like this one's like a wire. This one's stiffer, and you can switch them out. And so I'm thinking I'm gonna put them in different sizes, small, medium, and large. And there's another one. I think that one's really cool. But like people can buy these and just switch them out on their choker. That's what I do, and that way they could buy this one time, and then they could just buy these different colors and switch them out. They wouldn't have to buy a whole necklace each time. They could just buy a pendant, and so I think I'm gonna make that offer. But first, I'm gonna try to like I have a whole bunch of new SPTV like bracelets. They're mostly crystals. Um, these are these this one's red and it has pearls. Oops, it's so hard to. Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna make a short video after this, and that way I haven't figured out exactly how I'm gonna do the pricing. I think I'll have like, well, the earrings are easy. I can just write on the card. I can write on the card how much the earrings are. And the bracelets, I think they're different prices because some are sterling silver and others are not. Anyway, I have to figure all that out. But my roommate, ex-husband, his friend is coming to visit on the, excuse me, on the, I think the 22nd. And I guess Richard sent him some pictures of some of my necklaces because I still have them out on the table. I haven't put them away yet. And his friend bought one tonight, and he wants to buy some earrings for not his wife, or a friend girl of his. I think he likes this friend girl, but anyway. Uh, so anyway, I think I'm gonna, unless y'all have anything to talk about. Um, I'm trying to figure out what to do with my channel because I've been really out of sorts this week. Like last week and the week before, I was like real excited and I had things to talk about and stuff. And like this week, I'm kind of at a loss. And so I'm thinking of jumping on the bandwagon of kids can't consent, and maybe starting to excuse me, to lean in that direction and maybe figure out who which different organizations we can write, and I'll I'll print up some, or I'll have a letter. I want to write write one to the IRS, a very firm letter to them, and just have different letters that people can use if they want, and have a list of the different agencies, like the whoever you report, like different human or children trafficking to. Um, I'm sure there's a few, and the FBI need to, like, these people need to be bombarded with our emails or letters. I think if they were bombarded with like thousands of letters in a week from us, that I think that would be a big wake up call to them. Because if we're writing letters, just hit and miss, um, one of us or a few of us writing a letter here and there, it's different than if they get bombarded with them. You know, like we should have a day when we all send, like a big group of us, send an email to the IRS all in one day. Like we could break their emails, we could break the bank. I don't know, something like that. So I'm thinking I'm gonna Serge wrote a letter, and I think it's a petition that we're supposed to send to Congress. Okay, I'll check that out. You've got to sign. Okay, Marla, thanks so much for popping in. So good to see you. I appreciate you. Um, yeah, I'll check out that one Serge wrote. I'm gonna have a couple of. I like to write letters. I like to tell people what I think when they're not doing the right thing. you know, like um, read them, the Riot Act, because it just really blows my mind that there's still children in Scientology getting the things that happen to them, the abuse that they experience. It just blows my mind that it's been going on for so many years. And I'm just glad that there's so many of us that care enough to be part of the movement. That eventually they're going to get closed down. Something's going to happen. They won't. They can't last forever. I mean, at least if they don't get closed down, they're going to have to change the way they deal with children for sure. I mean, I see that happening at least. And at the risk of sounding mean, I'm going to say it anyway, but I really wish that the Mike Renders and the Martys and the Claires that knew what was going on with these children, and the parents, like Serge says, the parents do not have a buy in all this. Sure, they were brainwashed too, but hey, they chose to join and stay and bring their kids in, and they were getting the same auditing. Um, how could they not know that bull baiting or whatever that is it bull baiting? They, I mean, they had to know what their kids were going through in the audit sessions. I mean, so they don't have a buy either. But I really think these people should be have to pay for their crimes. And I don't wish prison on anybody, but I kind of do. I shouldn't say I don't. I really don't wish prison on anybody. But if you break the law, and it's still going on, and like Mike Render not doing anything about that, attorney, that whole Child USA deal. I mean, come on, how many times does he have to get caught doing this stuff before he gets in trouble for it. I just don't get it. But I know that when I broke the law, I did my time. I wasn't given a free pass, a free get out of jail card. Um, yeah, they made me pay, and I paid, and I'm still paying. You pay your whole life if you've gone to prison. But like I said, it's not like they're not going to get out. At least they'll have an out date. A lot of people in prison don't have an out date. They will have an out date. It's not like they're going to be in there forever. Come on. Put your big boy pants on and, you know, I don't know. If nothing else, people are raising public awareness and that can help um, way reduce the number of. Yes, yes, yes. Well, um, just how small it's gotten. I was reading the attorneys that have the Jane Doe case, the attorneys that are handling that, they are handling all kinds of cases. I mean, they have cases all over the United States. And I was reading something in their on their website, and oh, it was talking. Oh no, maybe it's not the Jane Does they have. You know who they have? Three people who have been trying to get in court with Scientology for years. It's that real pretty blonde lady. Her name's last name's Paris. Um, she's the one that got away in the trunk of the car. Um, remember that story? She climbed in the trunk of someone's car and rode out of there in the trunk, and the guy didn't know that she was in the trunk, and I guess when he got home, she showed herself, and it freaked him out. Anyway, um, her and two other people are taking David Miscavige and Scientology to court. For years, this case has been going on. But anyway, my point was, I was reading something in their website, and one of those people said that they don't understand why. Oh, sorry, I'm getting confused. Okay, um, the person writing the article was talking to um, Ann Archer's son. I forget his name, but he's like the spokesperson for Scientology, and he is claiming, that there's so many millions of Scientologists across the world, and in the United States, there's a few million still. He said, I don't understand how when they took the census in whatever year it was, that they got it so wrong. And it said that there was only the the Census Bureau said there was only 35,000 Scientologists left in the United States, and he that freaked him out, because I guess they're told, how many millions are still in there. But yeah, there's definitely not um, the numbers joining that there used to be. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. But you know what's going on in Africa? They're getting those poor people roped in. Leave it to Scientology to go to a country like that, so poor, and they throw a few bucks at them for to open a school or whatever. But in the meantime, they're making them do Scientology, and it's hard for those people, I'm sure, to turn down the money. They want a school for their kids so bad, I imagine. And so I guess they don't realize how bad the trade-off is. They don't realize what they're walking into, those poor people. I feel sorry for them. Yeah, they'll take over Africa. I guess the only way to stop that would be, like Aaron says, to get the tax exemption taken away. So all of Scientology will fold. But anyway, okay, you guys, I think I'm gonna skedoodle. I'm gonna make that video. Yep, typical manipulative cult. Absolutely. I mean, I just can't imagine. It just blows my mind. It really does. And the ones that have been in there for so many years and they're getting so old, you know. It's so sad. It's so sad. But it's also disgusting too. Okay, you're welcome. Thank you, Tiggs. Thanks so much for being here, and Kimberly and everyone else who is here. I appreciate all of you. And yeah, look for my jewelry videos. I'll get it posted more than likely before I get some rest, but just in case, it might be tomorrow afternoon before I get it finished and posted. But anyway, y'all have a beautiful day. Beautiful. I can't even say night because it's almost daylight here. Anyway, I appreciate you. Thanks so much. I'll see you on the flip side. Bye, y'all. Now, my mouse. Hmm. This silly computer.